Simplify, multiply, and divide. So simplify means factor the numerator, factor the denominator, cancel common factors. First thing you look at when you factor, is there a GCF? 3 goes into both. Divide both 3a and 6 by 3, and you get a minus 2. There's nothing that you can factor a minus 2 with, so you just leave it alone. Factors are what's being multiplied. Any common factors can be canceled, and you're left with 3. Number 2, GCF. There is a GCF of 2. Divide each piece of the numerator by 2, and we're left with x minus 1. There is not a GCF for the denominator, which means I need 2 parentheses. Here, I couldn't factor it because it wasn't squared. In the denominator here, x is squared, so I need to break it into x and x. X squared minus 1, difference of 2 squares, plus 1, minus 1. If this is a minus here, we have to have a positive and a plus, 1 plus and 1 minus. What can cancel from top to bottom? The x minus 1's cancel, and I'm left with 2 over x plus 1. Is there a GCF in the top? No. If there's not a GCF, 2 parentheses. A squared, a and a, factors of 2, or factors of 16 that add to get 8. Plus 4, plus 4. There's not a GCF in number 3 in the denominator. Here's what's important though. Since the 16 is in the front, whatever you put here and here has to make 16. So the 4 and the 4 go in the front. Because the a squared is in the back, I put the a and the a in the back. The back comes from the back. The front comes from the front. Plus, minus. Now, a plus 4, 4 plus a. Do those represent the same thing? Does it matter when you add? Does the order matter? No. Doesn't matter what order I add, these will cancel out. Those represent the same quantity. These are different though, so these are left over. This is your final answer. Number 4 is one of the tougher ones to factor. There is not a GCF on the top or the bottom. So you need to factor the top. What multiplies to make 2x squared? 2x, 1x. What multiplies to make 10? 5 and 2. Now, this works because 2x times 2 is 4x, and 5 times 1x is 5x. To get a positive 1, I need a plus 5 minus 2, because 5 minus 4 is 1. We also have a 2x squared in the denominator. 2x and x. Factors of 10, once again, are going to be 2 and 5. This time they have to add to get 9. Plus 5 plus 2, because 5x plus 4x make 9x. The 2x plus 5 cancels. Final answer, because these are different, one's a plus, one's a minus, they don't cancel. No GCF for either one. X squared, x and x, factors of 10 that subtract to get 3. Minus 5 plus 2. X squared, x and x, factors of 16 that subtract to get 6. Oh, if you have one of the old worksheets, this needs to be a 6 for this to work right. That was a typo. And there's another one coming up. Minus 8 plus 2, because negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. X plus 2's cancel. Final answer. No GCF on the top or the bottom. Factors of 32 that subtract to get 4. Now remember, if you get stuck, those are the only factors of 32. And the only ones that subtract to get 4 are 4 and 8. Plus 8 minus 4. X and x. Now we need them to add to get 20. 1 and 64. 2 and 32. So when you simplify, factor the top, factor the bottom, cancel what they have in common, write what is left over. With multiply, you're going to do the same thing, you just have 2 fractions you're going to do it for instead of 1. There's nothing more that you can factor, y plus 3. Now, a plain y squared, the factors are just y and y. But when it's y squared minus 9, I need parentheses to find my factors. This is all connected. So the factors of the numerator, y plus 3, y, and y. Factors of the denominator, y, y minus 3, y plus 3. What cancels? Y plus 3, y and y. What's left? So anything from the top can cancel anything from the bottom. So I cannot factor a plus b anymore or a minus b anymore. No GCF, so 2 parentheses. A squared, a and a, b squared, b and b, plus, minus. GCF. Anything from the top can cancel anything from the bottom. Factor the top, factor the bottom. Pay attention, if it says divide, you have to change it to multiply by the reciprocal. So change the divide to multiply. And this is a switch also. Change that to 9x. As soon as we do that, this is just to multiply. Factor the top, factor the bottom. X squared minus 9, x plus 3, x minus 3, x and x, factors of 12 that subtract to get 4. No GCF, x and x, factors of 8 that add to get 6. The bottom has a GCF. Divide each one by 3x. Anything from the top can cancel anything from the bottom. I always put, if there's a single piece, I just put that in the front, but it doesn't matter. If you had these two switched, that's okay. Multiply by the reciprocal. Factor the top, factor the bottom. Nothing I can do with this one. The a plus b, a minus b cancels. Oh, and the 3 cancels. So 3 divided by 3, when you divide everything by itself, I'm left with 1. I'm going to clear this off just to make room for number 12. Multiply by the reciprocal. Now, I'm just going to actually make that 3 squared. I'm just going to square each one. That'll make it a little easier. GCF. Three squared is 9. Now, does it make sense? If this is squared, I just have 2 of them. Now, here this is important. These are the same except for the order. Anytime you have a minus sign here and the order's different, you got to put a negative in the front of something. I have to have a negative here. These 9s cancel. I went over this in the video, but we'll go over it more on the next day you guys are back if you still have questions. All right. If it's times, we leave it alone. Divide, we multiply by the reciprocal. Change this to multiply by the reciprocal. So nothing needs to be factored. We can just cancel. C plus 2D is exactly the same as 2D plus C. When you add, the order doesn't matter. What do you notice though? Here, so maybe think of this. If you have 5 minus 2 or 2 minus 5, see how everything's the same except it's negative? So these will cancel, but I'm still left with a negative. So my whole answer is just -1. When everything cancels, you get 1, but because these needed a negative, it's going to be a -1. All right. This is just a great big divide problem. So I leave the top divided by the bottom means I need to multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom. Now I need to factor the top, factor the bottom. This is already factored. This is the difference of two squares, 2y plus x minus x. Same thing down here, 2x plus y minus 1. All right, 2x minus y matches this one. 2y minus x matches this one. This is 2 times y, this is 2 times x. These are not the same. All right, I'm going to clear the screen to make room for the last one. I'm taking the top fraction divided by the bottom fraction, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Factors of 24 that subtract to get 5. Factors of 24 that subtract to get 2. Factors of 6 that subtract to get 5. Factors of 8 that add to get 9. Anything from the top can cancel anything from the bottom. final answer.